Hello, hello. Welcome on in. I was super busy today, so we are actually going to be productive. So we have the art for the model. This is only the reference, like the PNG. So we're going to chop it up, convert it into live 2D art, and then rig it. So we start with a little decapitation. Hmm. How do I want to cut this? Actually, before we do that, I want to get both of them. I have the munchies. Hi, Orca. What are you eating? Chips? Ah, okay. Today we're working on Goldie's model. We have the art. This is a PNG, but we're going to convert it into full model. So I'm just thinking of like, how do we chop it up? I think we can start with just the shape of the hand. But yeah, what have you been up to? Nothing? Well, no news is good news. Besides making the other design for my silly character, ooh, what are you making a character for? Game? Ah, okay. Speaking of characters and games, I'm still waiting for D&D. Nadia mentioned moving and won't have internet until the 4th of November. So yeah, we're just waiting until then. In fact, I've been in a bit of a D&D drought myself. My human friends have been a bit busy. So I've not even had D&D. Absolute sadness? I know. This is even when I was a player. This was my chance, you know? My dreams finally fulfilled and then taken away from me. But yeah, my friend who was DMing, he called in sick. I think at the last minute, so he called in sick at like the last minute, so we ended up not playing. Sickness is bad? Yeah. Fortunately, it was just like a little thing and he just didn't have the energy. But it's okay. Especially when you have a clogged nose, yeah, that's when you really take into appreciation all the times you could breathe normally. I don't know if you guys know the show Smiling Friends. I kept seeing so many memes about it to the point I actually started watching it. I don't know how I feel about the show. It feels a lot like a fever dream. It's a show that you best not think about it. Yeah, that's the impression that I got. Because I feel like sometimes the episodes end and I'm just like, what did I just watch? Not even in a bad way, just in a confused way. The one with the yellow guy? Oh, yeah. Well, I guess. Hold on. This one. Oh, I was thinking about another one. Yeah, when you said yellow guy, I'm like, yeah, there's a yellow character, but I'm like, maybe we're thinking of different ones. Let me grab the reference sheet and steal the eyes from there. We had one over there, but it was kind of scaled down a bit. I was thinking about Happy Tree Friends. Oh, that's a very different show. Also like a fever dream, to be fair. Hi, Hot Shag. Welcome on in. No, I think it might be better to just make this from scratch. Hi. We're working on full body today. This little guy. Hmm. Very silly. I like silly things. Yeah. Honestly, silly spoof movies. My favorite genre. They call me silly back home. You know who I call silly? Wally. My friend's cat. I sometimes just call her randomly and I'm like, you know what your silly goose of a son did? And then I proceed to like start listing out his various crimes. I may have gone too silly. Yeah, Your Honor, my client was just a little silly. He did not mean. You know what? It's okay. I'm not going to finish that joke. Accidentally built a hydrogen bomb? Yeah, you were just making a little science project, got a little goofy. Happens to us all. You know, a part of me considered, what if we just play Minecraft? But I was like, you know what? We've done a lot of gaming stuff lately. Maybe we should get, return to our roots. Do some art. Wait, I forgot how do you gamble? Do you mean like exclamation slots? Is that what you're looking for? Speaking of gambling, I think I want to remove the. You know how you could. Wait, is this thing off? There we go. So the little $10 Ordi was missing. But yeah, I was thinking I want to get rid of the bits gotcha thing and I want to make it channel points, if that makes sense. So you can like pull for the mascot, but not using any real money. Because I thought about it for a bit. I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. So instead of waiting for like a million points and you get like the little mascot, you can farm up, I don't know, 8,000, 10,000 channel points. And then, a 1 in 20 chance. Because I did see recently some people they're talking about like the impact of Labubus and why they're so popular. Apparently, if I understand it correctly, they're different kinds, different types. And each time you like buy one, you basically, it's kind of like a loot box, if I understood correctly. So, how do you say this? You buy like the box, you open it, and you don't know which one is inside. It could be a different color, different variety, etc. Apparently, the reason they got like super popular is there's a gotcha gambling aspect to it. And, when times are tough, gambling tends to go up. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have a mechanic like that on the channel. At least one that uses real money. I thought they were demonic and controlled those who purchased them. No, the only demon here is capitalism. But yeah, I was looking at like the psychology of it. And it's basically when times are tough, people like, there's no point in saving up. It's never gonna be enough. But if I spend a little bit, nothing to lose, but there's a chance to gain, they just go for it. And it's not a recent thing either. Apparently, historically speaking, that's how it was. In like recessions and stuff. It's really no different than a Happy Meals at McDonald's. Exactly. I'll be back. I do not like the design made for a character. It looks weird. That's part of the process. Hi, Maxine. Welcome on in. We're talking about Labubus and gambling. Do you think they're evil? How are you? I am doing good. I had a 2-hour driving lesson. I did not make the evening news. So, all in all, good day. If you turn on British television one day and you just see like a 200 car pileup, I was involved. They should have been on different layer. Yeah, what about you? Up to anything interesting? I was out all day, so fingers crossed we're a little bit productive today. Although, mostly done all my commissions for the month, so we have shifted into the November batch. Plus the ones that take like more than a month, e.g. full body models. This feels a bit wonky. How do you guys feel about like the Twitch streaks? I've seen a lot of people have mixed feelings about them. I just showered, shaved a bit, getting a EKG in like 3 hours. Then I'll be playing horror games with my friend because it's Halloween. Well, I hope everything's okay. It's just routine testing. But I'm just thinking, heart condition and horror games. Let's hope that's not a recipe for disaster. To me, the additional notifications are a bit annoying. You have a point. I feel like if it was a very large, crazy active chat, I can see it kind of clogging things up, especially if people are like spamming it every single day. From the way I understand how it works, I think it's like 3 days and then 7 days, and then it keeps like increasing rather than a streak every single day. If it does get a bit bothersome, I might turn it off. It also gives you a notification that you can continue your streak when a streamer starts stream. Oh, you mean like those notifications? I think I've seen like a couple. Normally I just have notifications for Twitch turned off. Like, I feel like every single time I follow someone new, immediately after clicking the follow button, I click turn off notifications because I don't want like the spam. The way I watch people on Twitch is I open Twitch and I go, okay, who is on right now? Rather than, oh, this person is live, let me hop on Twitch. Further bullied me into getting an EKG because apparently multiple heart palpitations is a worry. Yeah, you see, hearts are not supposed to do that. And yeah, getting your heart checked is, pretty important if something is even a little bit off. Like, for example, my dad has some weird heart condition. And as a result, he has like crazy high blood pressure. And for like a while, every time he goes to the doctor, they're just like, huh, your heart rate's a little high. Shrugs vaguely, moves on with their lives. Until one day, one doctor's like, hey, this is a little high. Let's do some more tests. And then turns out there was like some issue. And they're like, hey, if you have to get on this medication, do this, do that, do that. If you didn't do that by like 30, you would have like kicked the bucket. So yeah, better safe than sorry. He's like, you know what? I don't think I should say. But anyway, he's, he's alive, he's healthy, he's doing well. All because he went to the doctor and listened to what they said. So, don't chicken out. Hi, Amber. Good morning, Ordi and chat. How's everyone's day been going so far? So far, so good. Doing art today, as opposed to the gaming shenanigans. I feel like if I didn't have my driving lessons today, which by the way, I leave in the morning. I come back around 4 p.m. It's in like 2, 3 towns over. I have to take the train and I go there for a couple hours and I have to come all the way back. Half the day's already gone, so I didn't get a chance to do much work. So yeah, I decided, you know what? We're having art stream. So we're working on a full body model. I wanted to go for something easy. So we're just like chopping it up. We already have the art. Now we have to separate it for live 2D. We're talking about Twitch's streak thing and whether, it's a good thing or bad thing. Is there a way to turn off notifications for only the streaks? Because I'm curious. Despite streaming here, I actually don't know too much about it. Possibly too lazy to find it though. Getting EKG, got one ages ago. Does everyone have a heart condition? Or is this just a coincidence? Probably disabling the smart notifications. Oh, I definitely do. My heart is better pumping blood and is bigger than the average heart. Medical condition aside, now you can go around telling everyone that you have a much bigger heart than everyone else. I think I saw like a. What channel was it? Was it game theory or film theory? I don't even know. But it's basically one of those, what if this was real and it was about the Grinch and like what happened if their heart actually swelled to 3 times the size? Spoilers, not good. Don't have a heart condition, have a brain that's dying. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, you die? Yeah. It's almost as if your organs are a specific size for a specific reason. But then again, I'm no doctor, so unfortunately, I can't give medical advice. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You know what I think would be like an amazing scientific marvel? The ability. Have you guys ever watched the show Altered Carbon? When did it come out? There's like what, 5 years ago? Let me search this. Altered Carbon. When was it created? 2018. Oh, okay, that's pretty old. Basically, it is one of those shows which are like dystopian future where humanity has advanced to the point that they can like change your, they can like, you can upload your consciousness into another body, you know? So bodies are treated kind of like property rather than you because your consciousness is stored in some little, hold on, here's the poster. Your consciousness is stored on like some little disc in your neck, which you get when you're like a child. So it holds your personality, your memories, yada, yada, yada. One of the things like the crazy rich people do to, in quotes, live forever is they make clones of themselves. And whenever their body gets old, they just upload it into a younger version of themselves. Now, if that technology was real, right, all you'd need to do is, you know, if there's some health problems that can't be fixed, just upload to a new body. But then again, I don't know how I feel about uploading my consciousness into a little disk, because then it becomes the question of, are you your memories, or is that basically just a copy of you in someone else's body? Very philosophical, but I don't know. Fun to think about. Oh, and jail there is basically they yoink your consciousness out of a body and just put it on some hard drive for however long they want. Hey, whenever I tell my friends about my many physical problems, they're like, "Can you stop dying for like 5 minutes?" Almost sounds like The Island. The Island. I don't think I'm familiar. Let me search it up. The Island, 2005. Where's the plot summary? You know what I hate? Movies that are their summary or what they're about is like a single sentence. This one is like, a mercenary pursues a man and woman who escaped a research facility after learning their true fate. That tells me literally nothing. Also, then the government also might have access to it. That scares my anarchist ass. Well, it is a, how do you say this? It is a dystopian film. It's set in like some, you know, dystopian future, so it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows over there. Good movie. I didn't care so much for season two. Season one, beautiful. Season two was alright. I don't know, it felt a bit different. So I was like, I still think it's worth the watch. supposed to be a twist. Is this the guy who played Obi-Wan? Oh wait, it is. Yeah. Like, my consciousness is probably the last thing I want the government to have. Yeah, that's why. Okay, listen up, everyone. If someone tells you, hey, you can upload this, you can insert this technology into your body, trust me, it is all safe, it is all good. It is government approved, it is company approved, or whatever, right? No. If you can't even keep ads and viruses off your desktop computer, which you can easily unplug and shut off, what makes you think people can't do that to a little computer that is wired directly to your brain? So yeah, you know what? We're gonna start an uprising. Our motto is stay human. We are against cyborgs and synthetic humans of all kinds. Like Neuralink. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. Okay, in their defense, I think right now what they're doing is they're focusing on like medical research. So they're like, we're gonna help people who can't like move their bodies, and it's good. That I think is completely fine and is super good. However, I don't think that technology should be like mainstream for like any old person to just like get their hands on. Look at AI. In the hands of research, it was doing like beautiful things. The moment it was used commercially, this is, you just gestures vaguely to the internet recently. That's what happens. So that's like saying military grade, that just means cheap, easy to replace. Exactly. I saw like a meme of someone is like, I don't know why everyone thinks military grade is good. As someone who was in the military, that just means it doesn't work half the time. And was purchased from the lowest bidder. We just had Automod hold a bot message. At this point, this username is just keyboard mashing. Before they used to actually try and sound like a real person. I think they've given up on that. But yeah, inserting technology, especially one connected to a cloud, into my body, no way. If it's not wireless, cannot connect to anything, no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi, no nothing, maybe. Other than that, I don't think I have any interest in being a cyborg. What about you guys? I would do it. It does sound cool. Mount miniguns into my arms. Yeah, when I said like technology that's not wireless, I was thinking arm cannon. The thing I'd use it mostly for is the aiming laser dot sight to play with my cats. Also, that is just very similar to like immortality, just switching to a new body when you're old. And I'll always say immortality is literally only downsides. That's actually not even the plot, but one of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Themes of Altered Carbon. Like the crazy, insanely rich people can afford to just make clones, and they like genetically engineer the, in quotes, perfect body. And yeah, they live forever. They're like hundreds of years old simply because, they just keep hopping into younger bodies. There's a lot of themes of like this is society and all of that stuff in the show, but just disclaimer if you kind of avoid that. But overall, I'd say pretty decent show. I actually did see I think some science documentary on immortality. Specifically, would it be bad if people are immortal? It I think the conclusion to that one is basically people will still die, just they won't die of old age. It was going through statistics of how many people, die in a car crash or, other accidents or illnesses, whatever. So people just won't age and then die. And it also talked a lot about the science of, if people live longer, they'll have like less children, yada, yada, yada. So it's not pure immortality, but just it's kind of just like living longer, just indefinitely. Hi, Chumrad, welcome on in. We're talking about immortality and cybernetic enhancements. Would you, if a company came up to you and was like, hey, we have this computer, we can install it into your brain and you can scroll through the internet without using a device, would you take it? Personally, I'm in the camp of I don't trust any company. I barely trust any company to put their apps on my computer. Directly into my brain, I don't think so. I would take the immortality. I love immortality. Yeah, I would take it. Not because, if you look at a lot of popular media, it's always like, yeah, I've lived for centuries. I have watched everyone wither away and all that stuff, right? Nah, those people are just being doomers. The vampires in popular media need to get a hobby. Look at Twilight. He's like, oh, I'm so old. I'm depressed. I'm this and stuff. What does he do? He hangs around a high school all day. Right? Twilight was actually a super creepy movie. I have a crippling fear of death. Understandable. Oh, hi, Goldie. Oh, Goldie, we're working on your model today. Hold on. Let me finish typing. Wait. Yeah, we're chopping it up. So we have the PNG. We're just like separating it out into layers. Hi, Frubles. Welcome on in. We're having a very strange philosophical debate on immortality and being a cyborg. How's it going? Chopping it up? Yeah. You see, for here I wrote to chop. Wait, can you see it? Hold on, let me. Here, bottom left. It says to chop because, I thought I'd be nice. This is the lair. I also am working on Feather's bottle, but I very affectionately labeled this lair to butcher. And I thought that was funny, and you guys should know about that. Sounds like a fun conversation. Well, it is an Ordi stream where we do and talk about literally anything other than art. So much detail in the eyes? Yeah. Also, the way this is... By the way, I'm chopping it up and like kind of scaling up the resolution. So it wouldn't be like a little pixelated here. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of different layers. Ooh, I did have experience making like eyes super jiggly. But I can't remember which model it was for. Crap. Guys, I have too many children. I keep forgetting them. I love when I go to download something and DVD is still an option. Like, who has a DVD drive? You know what? I actually like the option of having a DVD drive. I don't remember the last time I ever used one, but my second computer, like the old office one, which is literally just sitting turned off for months at a time, Uh, that one has a DVD drive, so you actually can. Okay, if your PC has a DVD drive, you actually can remove it and put in like an SD card. Sorry, not SD card, like a hard drive in there. So, it's not a complete waste. If you have like an old laptop or old PC and you want more storage, I'd love immortality. Honestly, same. Like, I'd take it. I don't think I have like a fear of death or anything like that, but I'm like, hey, if it's on the table, I'll take it. If not, oh well. Oh, yeah, in less depressing existential news, I beat Pokemon Hard Gold. Ah, congratulations. Hi, Feather. Welcome on in. Oh, sorry. Feather just popped in with the word ho, but Automod caught that. I got a Chainsaw Man DVD just for collection's sake. I don't regret it. Wait, is the movie out on DVD? I thought it was only in cinema. Oh, do you mean like the series, not the movie? Also, yeah, for that, basically half of your messages get caught by Automod. I feel like that should really be maybe it's a sign for some self reflection, or maybe it's just against Australians. You never know. Censored by Purple Cat, yeah. The only speech allowed here is praises to me and my work. So it's a sign you should give VIP so I get automatic exception. I don't think I even have that enabled. I could never be immortal. My mental health would be awful from literally just watching me outlive everyone else. But if everyone else is also immortal, what's the problem? So you'll do a good job for this one. Thank you. For those who don't know, this is Goldie's model. Let me just zoom out. Also, Ordi Sable was so jokingly upset with the Minecraft render, threatened to ban me. Well, if he does ban you, dibs on your house and stuff. Look, I am just making the best of a bad situation. Forgive me for looking on the bright side of stuff. Going back to bed. Well, good night. Nah, the DVDs for season one. Oh, okay, understandable. I got excited a little bit. I want to watch Chainsaw Man. Ooh, what are the downsides of VGen when someone doesn't pay using PayPal is, it goes through like VGen, they hold it for a bit, the commission gets marked as complete, everything gets, there's like a little bit of a process in between me getting the money. Maybe I'll treat myself once the funds are released and go see Chainsaw Man. I think I've been here in the UK for like 4 or 5 months. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Long enough time. I think I've only ever gone to the theater once, and that was to watch the new Naked Gun movie. Also, are we talking fully immortal or just age immortal? We're talking age immortal. We're science fiction, not magic. Hmm. How do I want to do this? But yeah, not fully immortal because that's the realm of magic. We are talking about I think like science fiction. I think that's like the more grounded in reality kind of thing. I like magic. I like science fiction. I like magic that can be explained. I like science fiction that feels like it sort of makes sense. I hate okay, I don't hate. I don't really like soft magic systems, which are basically just like, hey, I did this thing. How? Magic. I feel like that's only good in stories where magic is not like the forefront, if that makes sense. If it's about people in a world, wait, what is the series? Hold on, there was one that did this really well. Mm, I'm trying to think. It had a weird name. It's the one with the thieves that steal from rich people, not Robin Hood. Was it called Gentlemen Bastards? I think so. Right, so that one, there are people who can wield magic in that world. The protagonists are not one of those people. As a result, the magic is not really explained much. So it's kind of like a soft magic system. The little wizards are seen as this otherworldly, all powerful group of people, right? But they're just like kept so far away from like the main protagonists, like like a distant threat. Or maybe even if they encounter one of them, it's like a very brief thing. There's no like info dumping about the lore. It's just this person shows up, they're scared shitless, they escape, right? So yeah. I mean, age immortal, you get cancer eventually. Well, the reason you would get cancer is because of damage to your DNA through aging. But if you don't get older, you don't really get DNA damage per se, if that makes sense. You're not taking every part of the color, you're to model it. Do you mean like the eye and separating everything? Well, there'll be some separation, but it's not like every single dot will be its own layer, if that's what you mean. But yeah, maybe we are a bit too morbid today. I think if we continue the talk of immortality, we should stick to the pros, okay? I forgot where it was from, but one magic system I liked was magic is physics, so the whole universe has its own magic flow. Normal physics is no, you can generate your own magic in your body. You're generating your own laws of physics, so that's why stuff could seem impossible. We gotta get our silly on now. Exactly, we can talk about the whimsy of immortality. I think I know what you're talking about. Was it the one where magic is basically you write the rules for something? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Was it what is it called? Was it Foundry Side? Let me pull up the title. Was it this one? This one is basically you can the way the magic works is you basically inscribe runes onto like an object and you basically rewrite its code. I don't read books, so probably not. Ah, okay. But yeah, basically I love the oh. We have ads. Well, we'll wait for them to finish. And then I'm gonna yap about the magic system of this world, which I really loved. But yeah, anyway, perfect time to take a break. Go to the bathroom, get some water. And then I can explain why I like the magic system, but hated the book. I'm sorry, I don't know how many they are in this series. I think I finished the second one, and I closed it, and I was like, nope, never touching this again. It wasn't even too bad, it's just, I didn't like it, you know? I'm not one of those people who believe like this is good, this is bad, yada yada yada. I'll just be like, this was just not for me, you know? But there are some which I actually really ban. This was not one of them. I was just the wrong demographic for it. It's basically it's like a romantasy novel which had like a beautiful magic system. I just heard what Maxine said. Twitch ad system is bullying me. Keeps giving me ads about driver's license. I can't drive. Well, I was going to say that makes two of us, but that is changing. Soon you will be alone in there. I'm out of ads, by the way. You know, I actually do have a driver's license already for my home country. It's just I have forgotten how to drive, so I'm relearning everything from scratch. The thing is, I passed through my lessons very quickly because it's just reawakening lost muscle memory, if that makes sense. And also learning how British laws work so I can pass the exam. Because in my home country, my driving test is basically get from point A to point B. No one died on the way there. Here's your license. That was it. If you can swerve out of the way of maniacs on the road, you can drive. That does not fly here. I'm good at driving, just can't drive on open road because of my condition. Understandable. But yeah, usually to answer the question, before I start taking driving lessons again, whenever someone asks, can you drive? I always say legally, yes. Practically, no. Because I took my driver's test, I passed the exam, and then I traveled. And then I stayed out of the country for the majority of like 6, 7 years. So I didn't really get a chance to practice driving. Also, I forgot these guys are gone. But Ryan, sorry. We're talking about Foundry side. The magic of this world. Sorry, we're going into my love of magic and nerdy shit, okay? The lore of this world is you can inscribe runes on objects and you basically change its code of the world, you know? So you can take, I don't know, what's an example? You can take like a rock or, no, you can take like a branch, make something out of wood, and then you inscribe on the runes, you are as strong as steel. So now that wood becomes incredibly hard, but it's still made of wood, so it's lightweight, you know? You basically rewrite the code of reality. Which is very interesting because they're automated, they're security doors and stuff. They're like, hey, do not let anyone in unless they have the right key. So if you want to break into a place, you basically read the code of the door. It's like, okay, this thing says, do not open unless someone has the right key. Okay, how do you define open? What is open? The thing is like, okay, to open, I swing inwards like this. I cannot swing inwards like this unless someone has the right key. Someone's like, okay, I don't have the right key. You can swing outwards. That's technically not breaking the code. And the door is like, you know what? You're right. Slams itself open the wrong way, breaks off the hinges, and then people just walk in. It's basically I loved it because it was magic, it was well thought out, but it's also at the same time kind of like coding, you know? So yeah, that's what I really loved about it. And then after they do all of that weird wacky shit with the magic, they're like, "Oh my god, I think I'm in love with you." But no, I can't trust anyone. And then they turn around dramatically and do all the sorts of nonsense. I'm like, "Can we get back to the magic, please?" The world is ending. I'm not interested in the love triangle, okay? So yeah, I love the magic. I hated the book. Turn the door into cardboard, kick it in. You see, the thing is, they can't change the code, but they could see, like, what is the logic? What logic does it follow? Right? So they basically, it's like talking to the Fae, you know, like those pixie tricksters and their little laws, or like deal with the devil. It's basically, these are the terms. It's like, okay, how can we read between the lines to like get in, if that makes sense? So yeah, it was super fun. The magic was super fun. Mm, if the plot was better, I would have continued, but it was not for me. I actually have a friend of mine who's like almost the complete opposite in the sense that she actually likes that stuff, but would not actually enjoy the intricacies of the magic, you know? She's one of the friends that I've been trying desperately to get to read Mistborn, but they're like, hmm. Oh wait, sorry. Is that a message? Oh wait, sorry. This is the previous one. It might have been a dream. Very detailed. You know what? If you have ideas like that, you would make a great D&D DM. I need more people to be dungeon masters, so the chances of me being a player increases. So, guys, get to it. I want to be a player. I want to commit my various war crimes. Doesn't matter which campaign it is. I can adapt. Fortunately, my friends love the shenanigans. Wherever it was from, I like the magic system. Sounds pretty fleshed out. You know what? If you ever remember, do let me know. Look at us being productive today. Guys, remember this for the next time someone brings it up. It's like, oh, silly cat, never does art. One thing I notice about my humidifier, it makes the room kind of warm. Which, to be fair, not a bad thing. It actually might be a super good thing during winter. You can take this magic and pass it into stuff outside your body. As long as you can clearly picture what you want, you can make it happen. Basically putting your magic into a door. Make it so you can pass through a solid door so long as you can picture it. That reminds me a little bit about Freeren, the anime. Because to them, I think in that world, there's basically like two kinds of magic users. They're the ones who study like a ton and, you know, they learn the art and all of that nonsense. And the others who, you know, kind of just vibe. I think one example was one character. If it was a dream, then yeah, maybe Freer was my dream's inspiration. Maybe. Because it's not really defined too well. In Freeren, it's basically... No, I don't think it would be, because that one's too vague. Because in Freeren, someone's magic was like, I have an impenetrable cloak of defense. Nothing can get through it. Until this one wizard, she basically just like one-shotted him instantly. And no one knew how she did it. She's like, oh, it's very simple. It's made of cloth. Cloth cuts very easily. So since she could like visualize it cutting super easily, it just overcame the defensive magic. Ubil pictured cutting through it. Exactly. So that's what I was imagining when you mentioned it. I was thinking maybe that, but no, I don't think so. Because yours seems to have like a lot more detail based in science. This one is mostly just vibes. I miss Freeren. That was a good show. That's why I say the inspiration. Freeren must have been the baseline. My brain was like, all right, let's make this make sense. You know, understandable. That's why I say, could make a good DM. That's basically how it'd be, you know? Because you don't actually have to create like crazy, intense original worlds. Lord knows I don't. I just, I like playing around with the idea of like magic systems, and the rest is kind of just yoinked from whatever media I enjoy. It's on the wrong layer. Whoops. In Freerun, there was a quote after Bill explained the imagination thing. You can't picture crushing a dragon under its feet. You mean an ant? But yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I imagined. So there are limitations to it. But at the end of the day, the strongest people would be the most delusional. You know? I think there's a moral to that story. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's only crazy, delusional people that change the world. Maybe not always for the better, but you can be crazy and delusional. But like in the case of Bill, she didn't see it as an indestructible cloak, she just saw cloth and cut through it. Yeah, like I said, delusional. Uh, they believe what's in their mind, not what really is. If that makes sense. You know who'd make a great wizard in that world? Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Someone points a gun to his head and he's like, it's okay, I can take it. Probably the strongest defensive magic mage out there. Me, I'd be a great mage, and my overactive imagination will trump all. I can see that happening. Hmm. I think it's better if these just blur. I think that's better. Hi, Akaza, welcome on in. I love when cats sit like people. It's so silly. Yeah, my cats don't do that. It's an Ordikai. Yeah, the rare variety. Quick catch him in an Ordi ball. Nope. Too late. I use that toggle to dodge bricks. What would my Pokemon ability even be? What do I even do? Dice throw? No, I love my dice though. I could never damage them that way. Ability would be taunt because you spend every other turn yapping. Honestly, I see that happening. Distraction via info dumping. I'm back. Sorry for the sudden leave. My cat has been being evil. You know what? Understandable. Wally is a menace. Yesterday, he was scolded for fighting my housemate's cat. I say fighting, but really all he does is he chases after them, looking for a fight, and then they smack him, and then he runs away. Ordi Earth type rolls dice whenever it lands. Whatever it lands on gives him a strength multiplier. I don't know. I'm not really a strength type of guy, so whenever it comes to playing games, I always go for either mage, any kind of mage, any class available. I like magic. Or a more slippery dex build, because I may not always kill the enemy, but I can always escape them. That is my motto. Cat Fight Club? Yeah, Wally's the only nuisance. The other cats, they get along. They may not like each other, but they always go like, I don't know you, I don't like you. You keep your distance, I'll keep mine, and we're all cool. And they're like, bet, you know? So they have that peace, that agreement. They have a treaty. Wally doesn't understand this because when they hiss and growl at him, he gets even closer for some reason. They're like, you want to go, bro? And he just like, oh, okay. And then he approaches and then it's not even that he's good at fighting and can pick fights and, all the time. He just goes, gets his ass kicked, and then he runs away. And then 5 minutes later, he tries starting it all over again. I don't get it. He has problems. Cat is back on the trend of trying to knock my high school diploma off the wall. I feel like she should cat-proof the house, I'll say be down for that power IRL. I have 2 dice. One dice gives me multiplier, the other one gives me duration. Ooh, that would be cool. Because at that point, worst case scenario, you're just at square one, Like your lowest roll, nat 1, is basically just you know, your normal strength. You just don't get a bonus. I think the worst thing that could happen, you roll a 1 for strength, you roll a 20 for duration. So you're just stuck on normal strength for the longest amount of time. Speaking of strength, when is Invincible coming out? When is the next season? That can be right. Wait, what season are we on? Are we season 4? Expected to be released in early 2026. Ugh. It's a long wait. If Ordi was a Pokemon, his ability would be taught. Oh, yeah. I definitely see that happening. Next is season 4. Yeah. Ah, well. Oh no, 20 minutes of being normal? How unbearable. Honestly, I feel like minutes is a bit too short. I would say the dice would give hours. Yeah, you like minimum you get the ability score for 1 hour, and you can't change it. So you can't just roll again. You have to stick with what you got. So if you roll a 1 for strength and maximum duration, that is the problem. You are stuck at normal for 20 hours. You can't just be all good when it comes to powers. There has to be risk and reward. Sure, you could be crazy strong for a long amount of time, or even crazy strong for a short amount of time. But you also take the risk of being, normal strength for a crazy amount of time, and you can change that role. So if like an emergency happens, you are without your powers. So that's how you do powers. And no one likes, yeah, no one likes OP characters. It's very hard to make them fun, you know? If it's just this person is perfect in every other way, that's a boring character, you know? Kind of like Superman in the sense, like OG Superman, super strong, can't be beaten by anything. Imagine they didn't have kryptonite. That's a bit of a boring character. They could make it a little bit interesting if they know how to make the story and go, how do you say this? Like, his challenge isn't overcome by strength. It has to be, him being smart or witty or whatever. I want the ability to shapeshift so bad. I want to look the way I want to look. Understandable. Earlier today, speaking of shapeshifting, earlier today, I was sitting in the train looking out the window, disassociating. And then it occurred to me, I was just Googling, I'm like, wait a minute, in this book series, you can only shapeshift into someone that you have killed. But this person shapeshifted into someone else. When did he kill this person? And I was going through Reddit and looking at everyone's discussion. And yeah, the series is called the Lycanis Trilogy. It does time travel and magic really, really well in like a fantasy setting. Hands down, one of my favorites. Now, time travel is very tricky, and the red eyes from yellow to black is so nice. Oh, thank you. It was initially solid lines, but I'm like, let's blur it. But yeah, I love that book series. It messes with your mind a little bit. Because it's one of those stories where there is time travel and there is seeing the future. No matter what you do, the future is set, which is very interesting because some people they go, "Oh, I saw myself die in this specific way in this specific place. Um, if I am not in that specific place, then I am not fated to die here. Come at me, bro." Downside: shapeshifting stresses your body, kind of like deadlifting. How long can you carry 100 kilos? Hmm. Well, in the Lycanus trilogy, shapeshifting is an incredibly painful thing because your bones and muscles just rip themselves apart and then reorganize. So it's like a very traumatic thing. Most people don't do it because A, it sucks. B, you have to kill someone to change into them. Yeah. If I want the Omnitrix, that's not shape shifting per se. By the way, apparently the Omnitrix, like the creators, their original design is basically the Omnitrix gives you a pill, and that pill mutates you into the alien. You know? Apparently, that's why the OG animation of him transforming, you just see like some orb kind of entering his body. Basically, the way it works is you select an alien, it scans you, it gives you a pill, you transform into that alien. When that pill wears off, that's when you change back. Or if you want to change back like manually, it injects like your human pill, the scan it took before you shifted, to shapeshift you back. So it was like it was one of those deep dive videos on like Omnitrix lore. So yeah. What does there have to be a downside to me wanting to look more feminine? Ori wanted to make my dice hours not minutes, convince him to make my powers minutes so you can get stress-free shapeshifting. First of all, we were talking about strength modifiers for the duration. I don't know how shapeshifting is a part of that. They were talking about powers in general. Oh no, I'm talking specifically about Maxine's thing. What Maxine said was like, imagine I had the power where you roll two dice. One set of dice gives me strength multiplier, and the second dice is how long it lasts. So solution for minutes is give me 100-sided dice. 100 minutes of times 1 multiplier. But at the same time, you could have times 20 multiplier for 1 minute. And then at that point, is it even worth it? Although it could make for some interesting, like, high octane scenes where, like, okay, we can do this shit if we do it in 1 minute. $200-sided dice, let's go. Okay, worst case scenario, you have, okay, not even worst case, but imagine you have times 20 strength, but for 2 minutes. And if you're like, that's very unlikely, you can't roll 2 nat ones, better believe it. And I had a session, right, where super important stuff was happening. A friend rolls nat 1. Next person is like, I got this, nat 1. Third person, nat 1. Fourth person, nat 1. To the point where they're like, okay, this has to be a problem with Roll20. There is no way that's possible. So it is a bug. We should re-roll. I'm like, no. The dice have spoken. And they have spoken against you. What if I wanted Deadpool's healing factor? I don't know. Power is cool, but do you want to look like a testicle forever? You know? Average D&D campaign? Yeah. Don't care about my appearance. Honestly, fair. I think my favorite thing about D&D is just being a silly goober. What do you think about the outlines? What outlines? Do you mean like these? What are we talking about? The premise of... Wait, sorry, are we talking about the art or... Oh, okay, these ones. Okay, so if you look here, you'll notice this is a very thick outline, but this is the actual line. This is just something that's from the reference sheet to, you know, make it like pop a little more. Like for example here. Okay, this was scaled down, so you can't really see too well. Hold on. Yeah, this one has like a thick outline so that it pops a bit more. Like you see here, this line here and this line here are very different. So you'll even see the like different colors. This line is not going to be a part of the model, if that makes sense. This is just like for show. Because I'll show you an example. Where's some of my old art? Hold on. Where'd I keep this? Okay, I think I remember. Is this the one? No. Okay, here it is. So basically the thick line is basically like this white line here. By the way, before I had this model, I made this PNG, and then I converted this PNG into a model, so... But yeah, basically the thick line that you're looking at is like this white outline. You'll see this is the line of the model. This is just a border to make it like stand out more. But this one just happens to be a very similar color. So yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. What did I miss? There was a time I walk around looking like I crawled out of bed 2 minutes ago. Honestly, same. But at the same time, I feel like I should start dressing better. Not even for other people, you know, just for me. You know, if you look nice, you feel nice, and that's good. I'm usually a murderer in D&D. Okay, I am playing someone who is not technically a murderer, but is trying to spread death and carnage to civilization so people return to nature the way the gods intended. So I'm basically druid slash eco-terrorist slash Mormon. Oh, the Death Cult Druid? Yeah. Do you know what I was doing when my friend was running their campaign? we were in the town, we're getting our quests, all serious, we're all being heroic and stuff. And then as my party is leaving, I'm like, I hang back. And once everyone goes out the door, I go to the mayor of the village and I'm like, hey, I don't mean to alarm you, but I have been seeing some little signs of a plague. It could just be the common cold or little simple illness, but if it does turn into the plague, do let me know. I might be able to help you. You know what, my organization, we're not a cult, we are a circle of druids. Yes, yes, not a cult has a bad ring to it. So yeah, I'm like, don't worry, my siblings can help, but I didn't say fingers crossed, what was it? I was like, yeah, God's willing, it is nothing serious. And then I leave the town, I go to the tavern, and I cast the spell Contagion to give people the plague. And then by the time we finished the quest and came back, I asked the DM, I'm like, has the plague spread? He's like, yeah, there's definitely signs of people who are very sick. I bring up these concerns with the mayor. I go to the tavern. I'm like, for those of you who are sick, you can find my brothers and sisters in the woods. They can heal you with the power of nature. Society and civilization has forsaken you, but we will have not. And then I cast a healing spell to like cure one of them. Like, I cannot cure you all, so you must all go and like there. And then I'm basically being a faith healer, but causing the problem and then selling them the solution to hopefully lure some more recruits. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Since imagine getting into a fight with someone, I roll the dice. It's 100 minutes of times one multiply, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. We don't need to fight. Nah, just roll better. Yeah. That's something one of my friends always says whenever someone rolls badly, just to get under their skin. I don't want to try playing a very shy changeling one day, like only using the ability to change appearance to avoid social interaction. You know what? Fair. Sounds fun. I want to play a wizard with a gambling addiction. So how small is the outline gonna look? Kind of like this, you know? It'll be like a ignore the outline. It'll just be like the rest of this model. It'll look like this, you know? So don't stress about it. A wizard with a gambling edition. That's just a wild magic user. So cool. Thank you. Does the woe plague be upon ye, druid? No, because I don't tell people I caused the plague. I just do it. And then I tell them that nature is their salvation. Party's gonna be fighting God, and I'm gonna be hitting the slot machines. Yeah, I don't think you guys will survive very long. Because in a previous campaign, the loot goblins that are my friends, in the middle of a boss fight with a souped up version of Strahd, for those who are familiar, boss battle. They're like, oh, we're winning this fight. The rest of them can handle this. And then they straight up just leave to go start rummaging through his drawers to see if there's treasure. And then 3 players died. Those are my only character deaths, or player character deaths, in my 4+ years of DMing. And I can honestly say it was the party's fault. I cannot be blamed. Times I get 40 minutes of 90+ multiplier, then do music starts playing. You know what's one of the things I like in D&D? Solving problems without violence. Violence is cheap and easy, you know? Sure, it's fun, but you gotta spice things up a bit. That's why charisma is valuable. My friends, they only see charisma as valuable if they're playing a warlock or sorcerer, whichever one uses charisma. I think there's a few. But yeah, unless it directly impacts their roles, they are like, I don't want this. This doesn't make me kill things better, so no thank you. So what I want to do is basically have kind of consequences for them resolving problems not peacefully, not like punishment or anything. It's just, oh, they did this, and as a result, they killed this warlord. They didn't talk to them. They decided to just behead them and be like, we're the good guys. Turns out that warlord, sure, they may have been a warlord, but they also kept the peace and stopped other worse people from just like rolling on in, which they would have known about if they talked to him. But since they just like chopped his head off, those people will encroach and become an even bigger problem, you know? Charisma is valuable. That's for sleeping with the tavern keeper's wife. Turns out, tavern keeper, retired level 20 adventurer. Now the quest is survive. Okay, Maxine, only using charisma for horny stuff is like the least of my favorite things because there's so much funny stuff you could do with it without doing the devil's tango. Exactly, like starting a cult, right? Also, if I was a DM and someone dared to do that, I would do that. Retired adventurer, you guys should run. By the way, a DM tip: Schrodinger's adventurer. Every tavern keeper is a retired level 20 adventurer if the party causes problems. Exactly. Yeah, see, Amber gets it. I'm wondering if we should include these black lines. If I played Beans in D&D, Beans is my level 1 tarnished. I think there is like an undead race? Well, race is in D&D, right? No, I don't. Well, rules wise, it would be. But yeah, I think there is a way to play an undead. Even if there's no official one, there's probably some good homebrew out there. Maxine says, how dare you try waste my D&D time with sex? I'll stick the tavern keeper on you. Exactly. I'm not opposed to it. At my table, yeah, we don't have any lewd people there, right? These are my normal human friends that I met outside. So, yeah. That being said, it's been like 4 plus, actually 5 plus years now. Damn, it's been ages. Anyway, 5 plus years of D&D, almost weekly games. Not once has anyone ever wanted to do the Devil's Tango, as Amber called it. They want one thing and one thing only, and that is to deal more damage to the enemies. In fact, me playing my Death Cult Druid character has been like a little bit of a whiplash for them. Because all of them have basically just been like playing D&D, right? At my table is like their first experience. So the RP and stuff is not something they're too familiar with. So what has been fun is now I can't show them, oh, this is how you RP as the DM, because as the DM, they're like, oh, okay, that's just something the DM does. I am a player. What I wanted to do was be a player and do all of that BS from within, you know? And then they see how fun it is to do as a player and that there's no consequences. And yeah. So yeah, a lot of them have been like slowly creeping out of their shell a bit more and more. Because even when like I RP, I try to rope their characters into it, you know? Whenever I do like dumb shit, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely gonna do this thing, right, guys? And then I'd say like, oh, I grab this other character by the arm, pull them closer as if we were like both agreeing to this thing, you know? And it's been nice. Means there's 10 points in every stat, and just like me, I don't need sleep, just more damage. Yeah, there's, you know, a min-maxers. Well, most of them are, but there are some casual players who vaguely understand the rules. How about a game of Commander? I've never played it. Chaotic characters is so fun. Yeah, that is the fun, Ryan. I like playing wacky, nonsensical characters. In fact, I have a bunch lined up. And when it comes to making characters, I go just 100% utility, right? We have enough we have enough damage dealers. We have a broken healer because I gave them homebrew stuff. They don't really know how to play D&D too well. So I just give them broken magic items. I'm like, here you go. You're basically a god now. This will help you keep up with the sweaty players. You know, imagine you're playing like Call of Duty with your sweaty FPS friends, and you have like one casual friend who maybe picks up a console controller like once a month, right? And to keep things balanced, like, okay, you have 100% bonus to damage with all your weapons. Go nuts, you know? Only min-max if I'm in a hardcore campaign, but it's not hardcore min-max. But if it's not hardcore, min-maxing is not very fun for me. You know what? Fair. I feel like the only thing I, in quotes, min-max is character survivability. For example, if you ever play a druid and you really want to piss off your DM by escaping when you're not supposed to, is what you can do is shapeshift into a giant badger. I think just a badger. One of the anything that has a burrow speed. It doesn't have to be strong. You could transform into a rat so long as it has on its character sheet, right? Burrow speed. Very important, right? Not something that can logically dig, something that has the D&D burrow speed. You know what? Let me Google this. I need you guys to see. Where's the sheet? Giant badger. Here. Here we go. Okay. It's nerdin' time. You want something that has burrow speed. Doesn't matter how much. Right? And it has to be also very weak. because druids can only transform into weaker animals. So yeah, this is a very basic animal to turn into. I think you can do this level as soon as you get wild shape. You can immediately turn into this. Now, why is this important? Okay, if you have burrow speed, you can dig underground and move through tunnels. And you're like, okay, does that make me kill the enemies better? No, it doesn't. But if you can burrow underground, no enemy can hit you. Not unless they have a burrow speed, right? So you're fighting a dragon, you are fighting the god of time or god knows whatever. You say, I burrow straight down 10 feet. Okay, the DM will, maybe not straight down, but he's like, I dig underground 10 feet. No one can follow you. The hole you make is too small. Yeah. They just can't reach you. Now, they could just go, oh, but I'm the DM and I say like it can reach you. Lame DM. But most monsters don't have burrow speed. A lot of them have fly speed, right? But not burrow speed. This is important. There is some downsides. You can only dig in like dirt and stuff, dirt, sand, etc. So if you're in a building, not too feasible. Well, yeah. If you ever wanted to be a rat like me, yeah, druid is the way to go. Or wizard, and you just spam Misty Step and Dimension Door. Literally all the teleportation spells. Just always prep them. I'm very unkillable. I'm like a cockroach. Yeah. That's the kind of D&D player I like to be, Okay, I Google average deadlift and it's 150 kilograms. Check that. 100 times dice. Multiplier on there. That's 15 tons. I could lift a car like it's nothing. Yeah, because a car is like 2 tons. You could probably lift it and chuck it, kind of like the Hulk. So punching anyone would probably kill them, but in a world of superpowers, you never know. Yeah, honestly, I was watching the new episode of One Punch Man, and there's some guy who's just like being a jerk on the street. And I was just thinking, that is the dumbest thing you can do in a world full of monsters and superheroes. Because you don't know who has like the strength of 50 people underneath their random normal person clothes. Wizard is fun. I only recently started playing Wizard, but I absolutely love it. Oh, yeah. A Wizard is my favorite class. The only reason I'm a Druid is because I told myself I need to branch out. I can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. Maybe I should step outside of my comfort zone. So I took Druid and went the full magic route anyway, so that's a little bit of me cheating. Definitely not as much as Rogue, but it's up there. Ooh, yeah. I love Rogue. Okay, if I'm playing Baldur's Gate, my favorite is Wizard, Rogue, and then Barbarian. Yeah, shot putting a car definitely be possible. I miss D&D. We missed our session this weekend, so we have an ad coming soon. Okay, I need to fill my water bottle. I have 2 large water bottles, so... Or rather, I have one normal one and one really large one. And I don't drink out of the large one directly. I just use it to refill my smaller one. Okay, where were we? You should only play Rogue, Barbarian, Ranger, or Druid. I don't know about Druid in something like Baldur's Gate. I feel like Druid is super useful in an RP situation, you know? Because I feel like there's so much you could do with Wild Shape. Because a lot of people see, what is the strongest monster I can turn into in a fight? No, you transform into a fly, you transform into a rat, and you can run anywhere. Oh, we have ads. Okay, I'll do a little bit of art. Which is you start with nothing. Okay, the equivalent of that in D&D is you're just a commoner, I guess. You know what? You get no class. Or maybe just all of them at very early level. Because like level 1, you don't really actually have anything. Just a commoner? Yeah. You know, sometimes my friends forget just how strong they are in comparison. So what I do is sometimes I'm like, okay, this thing did this much damage. This thing did like 100 damage. A commoner, a full health person, you, the player, have 4 HP. Ooh, speaking of which, I saw a meme. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Where is this thing? Hold on, I'm looking for this meme. Maybe barbarian, a fighter. Yeah, that's basically just one step up from commoner. It's so cozy here. Well, I'm glad you're having a great time. Okay, the thing I was looking for was basically ships in the military. Oh, hi, Jumper. Welcome on in. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Haven't been able to catch your stream in a while. That's okay. Welcome on in. But you were talking about a lot of nerdy stuff, like D&D. But yeah, I was looking at... No, this was like ages ago. I saw someone discussing it. That like in the military, there is hit points for ships, which is basically how many shells of artillery can a ship take before it sinks, and that's how they would like classify its strength or hit points. And they're like, basically, all humans have a hit point of 1 based on that standard. I was trying to look for the exact thing. I'm vaguely remembering it. I hate that Google search is so bad to the point that you just type anything and add the word meme to it. you never find what you're looking for. You know what? It's fine. I give up. Well, I'm the first. Yes. I normally watch the horny chaos goblins and gremlins. This is a breath of fresh air. You know what? I want to save this. Okay, I don't think I like these lines. Hmm. We could. Have some highlights. I like the model. Thank you. I have the... I didn't design it. We are just chopping it up into pieces. Wait, do they have the credits here? No, the artist didn't sign it. If you're an artist, always sign your reference sheets. You never know. But yeah, this is a commission for Goldie. They have this model. We've basically scaled it up. We're chopping it up into pieces. Yeah, like the little eyes here. Lashes, upper eye, and then we are gonna rig it. It's so cute. Yeah, I love this model. You know what else I also love? The layers blend together with like one color. You know? That means it's super easy to rig and like connect two pieces together. So as a rigger, I like that. Told her to do that? Ah, okay. Their outfit's so cute. I want to steal that sweatshirt. I'm stealing it. Honestly, I have like a sweater like this, which I enjoy. I go outside and I just like cover my hands like this because it's cold, right? Unfortunately, it's a bit chilly outside, but I'm also someone who walks very quickly. So if I wear a sweater, I end up getting a bit too warm. I have to tell myself to slow down, otherwise, I have the same problem polar bears have. I'm nice, insulated, but prone to overheating if I run or something. I'm used to just power walking everywhere. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to winter. Every time I say that, my dad says I'll regret those words, but I don't know. We'll see. I've never experienced winter before. If I ever become a VTuber, my model's gonna be a Lego figurine. So long as you don't call it a Lego. And make it slightly different. Be very cautious of copyright. It's hard for me to find a sweatshirt that covers my hands. I'm 6'1", can't find cute clothes and size. So, what you do is you just buy the largest size possible. Because I buy, okay, whatever size I am, this sweater, I buy like 2-3 sizes too large. Shrink. Have you tried not being big? I wish I had the money to make clothes. So many things I want to do. Honestly, it does seem kind of fun. But I have to tell myself that I can do anything, just not everything. So I try not to pick up too many hobbies, otherwise I'll stretch myself too thin. I have been considering cosplay, you know, because I wanna. I do have. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find the picture. No, but it has me in it. I did make the mask out of EVA foam. The guy from My Hero Academia, the purple-haired one with the voice changer. Shinso was his name. Yeah, yeah. I made his mask. It was really, really, not to toot my own horn, but I did a beautiful job. Like, I was surprised with how well it came out. Uh, but that was the first and only time I ever made anything for cosplay. A, the foam is expensive, and I am broke cat. B, it also takes like quite a bit of time, and I'm also busy cat. I love that dude. Honestly, he was one of my favorite characters. Okay, My Hero Academia was like, this is an underdog story, and then it evolved to he is now the strongest person. I don't like that. I like underdog stories where they're weak, but they win still being weak. It stops being an underdog story if they become the top dog. You see what I mean? Yeah, I really want to get into cosplay. You know what? Where's the last place I had that picture? Hold on, let me check my phone. Maybe it's here. Let me see. Gallery. Do not connect. This was ages ago. Also, I do want to point out 90% of the pictures in this gallery are my cat. I'm not even joking. Okay, I am remembering that this is a new phone because the old one died. That's unfortunate. Okay, I must have had this somewhere. Is it a WhatsApp image? I think so. No, this is 11,000 pictures. I am not gonna find it. No. Screenshots, maybe? Most of these are just cats, anyway. I'm really looking for it. There's a super expensive fabric called Aero Fabric. Basically, put it to your skin and blow touch the fabric. You won't feel the heat. I want to put that fabric into a jacket. Why do you want to be fireproof? That's my concern. I want to get into cosplay as well, but it's too expensive. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, we'll see. I'm still looking for the picture. I'm seeing photos I have not seen in years. Okay. No. My God, where is this? I'm trying. It's not fireproof. Oh wait, sorry, I missed one. The closest thing to cosplay I do is like fox ears, a clip-on tail. Totally not gonna be my Halloween costume. Well, at least you have one. I realized I have nowhere to go for Halloween. I'm just gonna stay inside. So not fireproof is for the super insulating factor. I want all my heat to stay in or all the heat to stay out. You can't keep heat out. Your body is constantly generating it. So if you're insulated, you just keep generating more and more heat, and that heat has nowhere to go. So it'll keep you warm, not cool. Okay, you know what? I am still looking for the photos. I remember seeing it recently. So it must be somewhere. Gonna throw a Molotov cocktail at you if you get it. To be fair, in that case, it might keep you safe. But if you're keeping it for the weather, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Unless you want to be warm. Okay, I have one more place to check. Is this picture here? I'm praying that it is. Because before, when I'd send something to myself, I just like text it to my WhatsApp. No, it's not here. I'll find the picture somewhere. And then I'll get back to you guys. I'll put it in the Discord maybe. But anyway, welcome to my art stream where we do anything except art. Wait, I do have a Halloween costume. I just remembered. I am John Human. I am not a cat. Ordi? Never heard of him. You sorry? Yeah, I'm just your average, normal human guy. That gave me whiplash. Yeah, well, don't worry. I only put this on when the taxman comes knocking. The dice is gone? Yeah, because it's a magical dice. And I am normal human man and not magical cat. It's still there. It's just invisible. But yeah, I just remembered I had that. I don't think I'm never going to use it for anything. It was just on my model. Like I was playing around with it. I'm like, what if I just make a human version of the model? I changed the color of the hair, made the ears invisible, threw on the mustache. And then in the end, I was like, I don't like this. And I just forgot about it. Because I was like, what if I dress up, there are human beings who dress up as cats for Halloween. What if I am cat who dresses up as human, I was trying to do like something dumb like that. But yeah. In the end, I didn't like it, so I just let it be. This model has like 1,000 toggles. If you had to ask which is my most advanced model in terms of number of toggles, it would be this one. Because this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 toggles on this model. Anyway, being an artist and rigger is nice, so you can always upgrade your own model. And all it costs is time, not money. Which is actually the main reason I started learning Live 2D is I thought the technology was cool. So yeah. Ori beans can and will kill God. I don't doubt that. Oh wait, sorry, I think I missed that one. The jacket would have pockets on the inside, either heating packs or cold packs. I've thought about this. Okay, the thing about cold packs is as they warm up, they will cause condensation, which means you will end up kind of soaking wet. I say this from experience because I have built like a human liquid cooling system, which was great because my home country, I was dying. Like I'm laying on the bed, a shirt off, a fan full blast directly on me. My skin is red because of the heat and not like sunburn or anything. It's red the same way you would get like a blush because my blood vessels are dilating. My body is just dumping all the heat that it can to the environment, but it's not enough. So yeah. Anyway, I built my liquid cooling system. I was pumping ice water through these little tubes that I just coil up and like hug while sitting on my table. And it kept me cool, but it also made me very wet. So, okay, plastic or something to keep the wet in the pocket. The thing is, if the plastic is cold from touching the thing, the condensation will appear on the plastic. You know, it's you have cold thing. If air is touching the very cold thing, it will cause condensation. That's why if your AC needs servicing, that's why you see like it starts dripping water because air conditionings don't just make things cold, it makes things cold and it also has a system to like funnel away all the water it's generating. And it kind of just throws it outside, you know, that kind of deal. If that system doesn't work, yeah, you're gonna cause like, you're gonna, how do you say this? It's gonna create like a lot of water. So yeah, give it some, keep that in mind. Experiment a little bit. I'm sure there's a way you can figure it out. So when I say cold pack, I don't mean -20, like 10 degrees. Okay, when I hear cold pack, I think ice. mm, that could work. It might cause some condensation, but probably not a crazy amount. Yeah, trial and error is your friend. The ice in the jacket would be uncomfortable. Ah, yeah. Well, do you know the Bane and Pink Eye meme? I don't think so. Damn, that meme's literally my tarnished and the boss is Velenling. Yeah. You know, one day I'll play the game and I'll finally understand all of the things you referenced. Figured it out. If it was super cold, put the ice cold pack in a plastic bag with dry packets. Dry packets with the moisture to prevent condensation. Ideally, what you'd want is to avoid warm air from touching the cold item. Because warm air can hold a lot of moisture, but the moment it touches the ice cold pack, that moisture condenses, and that's where all the water comes from. Hi, Lamb. Welcome on in. We're talking about the science of a cooling jacket that Maxine wants to make. So yeah, if you have super cold thing and air touches it, if you can keep air out, you wouldn't have the condensation issue. Yeah, it's not like the cold thing generates the water. The water comes from the air that is touching the cold thing. Cuz like hot air can carry like a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, but cold air cannot. So if air cools very suddenly, all of that water has to go somewhere. So it just turns into a liquid and, gets everywhere. So yeah, the more you know. Anyway, welcome to my art channel where we do anything except art. Yeah, I do mean like 10 degrees, not too cold. It might still be cold. And honestly, the water might help if it's like a really hot day. Then he manages to always finish before a deadline. To be fair, true. I actually have it in my TOS. I was like, hey, please don't ask about like where you are in the queue or if there's any updates, yada, yada, yada. I specifically, okay, it's a very good thing to do. Not to nag, but to like check in every now and again. But the reason I wrote that in my TOS is one time, pure coincidence, I think like 3 or 4 people had randomly asked for updates, and then it made me feel very nervous. I think it was just like the pressure of like, oh, they ask, and I'm like, hey, I have nothing because I've not started it yet. So yeah, it's not, they didn't do anything wrong, by the way. I'm not like pointing fingers or anything. It's just like this is a me problem, and this is something that I didn't realize I would, react in that way until it happened. So I'm like, oh, okay. Then I added, yeah, please don't ask about like updates or place in queue because some people like months before it's due, they're like, hey, just checking in, like, where am I in the queue? And yeah, that makes me feel a bit strange because like, I don't know, it's just a me thing. I like to always have progress when people ask. So yeah, I actually had to write my tears. I'm just like, yeah, please don't ask about this. It makes me nervous. But I also said, hey, I understand that a lot of artists may not, how do you say this? A lot of artists may need constant checking in to make deadlines, but I have never missed a deadline in X amount of years. I forgot what I wrote. So yeah, it was basically a disclaimer like, hey, trust me, I got this. It won't be late. Just send them an under construction meme. I actually have one. It used to be my technical. Okay, I do have a technical difficulties screen. It's this one. I have this one. But before I had that one, I had this other one. I had this. Oh, sorry. This wasn't technical difficulties. This one was when I was making my Discord, right? I basically just made the Discord and it was bare and empty. And I was like, okay, it is under construction. So temporarily, this was like the profile picture of the Discord. Because it said, I think it's called Ordikai, right? So it's like Ordikai in brackets under construction. And this was the picture. So yeah, I just still have this link around. Yeah, just send them that one. I will. Fortunately, never had yeah, it wasn't even an issue. It was just a pure coincidence. I guess a lot of people were excited. Ooh, I think it was because of like September, Maybe people were asking to like check if, oh, maybe this will be ready by by like, September and all that stuff. Maybe that's why. Ah, okay. I didn't connect the dots before. Akaza Aslam, how do I draw? Lots of practice. Okay, you know what? Maybe you're memeing, but maybe you're not. If you want to learn to draw, uh, hold on. I'm pulling something up. If you're able to read, because this is in Japanese, this artist is one of the main reasons I know how to draw. You can see here he has a YouTube channel. That's his name. Hold on. Let me get the link. But yeah. This guy does not just cover like, hey, this is how you draw cute thing. Draw this shape, draw that one. It is adorable. Congrats. You have followed 1, 2, 3 steps and have recreated what I told you to make. That's what a lot of tutorials are, and I don't think that's the most helpful. Not useless, but not the most efficient, right? So basically, he's like, okay, we are going to draw a face. We're going to draw the eyes. We want to make it cute. So to make something cute, you make it have rounded features. You avoid sharp corners, sharp edges. You make the eyes round. The cheek or the chin, you don't make it pointy. You make it a little bit soft, a little bit round. Oh, you want to make this one a bit more chaotic, a bit more crazy, you do sharp, jagged edges. Kind of like my hair, you see, it's like sharp and pointy. So I went with adorable, but a little chaotic and messy with the hair, you know? So yeah, he he does a lot of stuff like that. He explains why things are cute, not just this is how you draw cute things, you know? Is that making sense? So yeah, if you want to learn like the theory, his titles are like super clickbaity, and ooh, he's actually a professional artist. He worked on I think the Pokemon cards. So yeah, he has credentials. So if ow, for some of her hair described as sharp. Okay, I say sharp as in it has pointy edges. I've been trying to learn to draw, but brain won't let hands function for longer than a few minutes without pain. Ah, okay, that's unfortunate. Honestly, try find. There are ways around. Ow. If there's a will, there's a way. Problem is very valid, but there are some people who I've seen some artists who are actually disabled. Like they have assortment of conditions, but they don't just say, "Oh, I can't draw like other people, so I can't at all." They usually find like some other way around it. Draw with your toes. Exactly. I've actually seen that IRL. In my home country, there's this street artist who he made these like hyper realistic pencil drawings of like famous people. You would think it was a photograph with like a black and white filter. They were drawing with their feet. So yeah, and even all of the art that you see that I have drawn for like the past. Hold on, I'm trying to do basic math. What, like past 4 years has all been with a mouse. I don't use a drawing tablet. So if you're like, oh, I don't have a drawing tablet, they're expensive, I can't draw, you don't need one. It's a bit tricky. There's a bit of a learning curve. And I recommend using the pen tool like this so you can get the line dressed right. Yeah. But it's a way. So yeah. Have I missed anything? What's an example of not sharp hair? What software do you use? I use one called Paint Tool Sai. Is it the best art software? No. Is it good in its own unique special way? No. Is it free? No. But do I use it? Yes. It's like that it's like that one of those relationships that are bad, but you're just used to it, so you just like stay even though you shouldn't. Yeah, that's me with this app. There are a lot of free alternatives. I know one which a lot of people use is called Critter. Um, that one. I just typed it down. I know that one. I believe it is free. I know a lot of artists use that one. So if you don't want to like invest any money into like getting software, it's a good place to start. Sony has a accessibility controller for people with disabilities. I want to get one and use it to game with my feet so my hands are free. Or I can play two players at once. You know what? Who needs friends for couch co-op when you can just play with your feet? That reminded me of like this article I saw where someone was like a I think they built like a robot. They gave it like some basic AI and then they decided to marry it. I don't know how real that post is, but in today's day and age, I don't see it as far-fetched. Oh, oops, wrong button. Exactly. It takes two, more like it takes me. Ooh, I think who was it? Someone actually did that. Not the feet thing. Who was it? I think it was Porcelain Maid who was I think they played it solo and they were like I think they named the stream or video It Takes One. I think it was just basically them jumping between controllers, if I remember correctly. So yeah, It Takes Me, yeah, that reminded me of that. What my largest problem with drawing, besides my hands hurting, is not being able to focus on what I'm drawing because my attention has to be partially kept on keeping one hand still. Okay. Handcuffs and rope. By the way, I'm just kidding. I don't know the extent of your medical condition. You probably know best. But honestly, the best thing you could do is if you really want to draw, right? You can see what works for you. Just draw double, yeah. You get double the work. If you're selling pre-made prints, that is, I smell double profits. Speaking of selling art, do you know what's a dumb idea that I had in the shower today? You know how conventions, right? Like TwitchCons and whatever, right? They always have Artist Alley. And a lot of people always say the tables are very expensive. And usually some artists just straight up break even. But it's good for exposure, good for meeting people, good for networking, yada yada. There's pros, there's cons, whatever. However, a dumb idea that I had is what if you sell art there, but you don't have a table? So you don't pay the table fees, you don't pay the booth fees, which I think are like a few $100s. But if you're selling like $2 keychains or I don't know, $10, I don't know how much keychains go for. But anyway, if you're selling like super cheap keychains and you don't make a crazy amount of sales, then you lose money. So, hold on, I promise I'm going somewhere with this. So instead, if you wanted to sell merch at a convention but not have a table, what you do is you basically walk around like the Resident Evil 4 merchant, like this, and you go, you just like want to buy some art, and you just open your cloak, and then it's just like a merch. And then you quickly close it and move on before anyone snitches on you. I don't know if it actually breaks the rules, but yeah, that's just like a dumb idea that I am like, I consider, I'm like, what if I just get like a booth at a convention, right? But I'm like, those are expensive and I don't know if I will recoup the costs. Because now that I live in a first world country, these conventions happen locally. So yeah. You just walk up to someone and you're like, want to buy some VTuber merch, and then you open, it's just like bootleg Hollow Live stuff. Yeah. And then you can charge it real cheap too, because you're not paying like the booth fees. You probably only pay like entrance fees, which I don't think is as expensive as a table. So yeah. What do you guys think? That should be pretty funny. That's hilarious. See my keychains. So long as you're very quick with showing them the actual merch, and you don't get mistaken as a flasher at the convention. Because apparently there are lots of stories about weirdos there. So yeah, people might be a bit cautious. Imagine having a line of people randomly following one dude around because it's so cheap. Honestly, yeah. And I was thinking, okay, what if, for example, if you have keychains, you'll have like 1, 2, 3, yeah, not a lot of space. So how do you keep like a lot of inventory? The backpack. This is your display case. They want something like that. You reach into the bag, you get it, you give it to them. Ooh, and also inside this bag, you will have your payment QR, Venmo, PayPal, I don't know, whatever people use in the West, right? Because not everyone carries cash. So yeah, here will be your QR code. I hit the stream markup here, but I'm like, do I actually want this as a short? I don't want to give people ideas. And then it turns out it's actually not allowed. And then people point to that and be like, oh, I learned it from this purple cat. And then I get in trouble. So yeah, this is a dumb shower idea. Don't actually do this. And if you do this, tell me if you're successful. But if you get caught, I don't know who you are. So yeah, that's just a dumb idea that I had. I considered going to there was a Comic Con, I think not too far from where I am. I think it's this year, or was it? Yeah, I think it was this year. So I considered going, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then I saw like you actually have to pay like a significant amount of money to enter, and I was like, oh, I thought people just walk in, or like it was like $10 to enter. So I was like, maybe next year. Like that meme of telling a homeless man you don't have cash and they pull out a credit card terminal. Exactly. You know what? Modern problems require modern solutions. I accept cash, but also QR. I paid $152 for a ticket to an Elden Ring concert. If it was $20 for something I kind of liked, I would consider it. Any more than that, and I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm a very frugal person, so I'm like, I like this thing, but do I like it? But is my love for it $100 and more? I'm like, I can enjoy that content at home on my computer. Yeah, to each their own. I'm just a very frugal cat. Don't let me be a buzzkill. If you have the money to spend and it brings you joy, go for it. To be fair, the concerts at Sydney Opera House. Oh, fancy. use my savings to buy the ticket. Well, if it made you happy. I realize I've become like my mom. She finds joy in not spending money. She's the kind who is like, oh, I like this thing. It's expensive, so I'm not gonna buy this, right? And then she's like, by not buying this, I have saved myself $100, and she feels nice. I feel like I recognize this model. I don't know why. It's looking really cute, by the way. Oh, this is Goldie's model. Did I bring it on stream before? I don't think so. Maybe just the design reminds you of something. Which honestly is not too uncommon. I feel like sometimes I see like a model, I'm like, oh, oh, that reminds me of so-and-so large VTuber's model. It's not the same, and it's not like, oh, this is a ripoff or anything. It's just like, this thing has long hair and is a specific color. I was like, oh, if I see that from a distance and squint, I might mistake it for like another one. But that's about as close as, as close as you can get to it. So yeah, I don't think it's like a bad thing. There's only so many combinations of designs, Like for example, I am a cat, I am purple. Yeah. How many other purple cats are out there? A lot. So to stand out, I just made a very different style of model. Chibi style, not forward facing, and in a teacup. Hi Shadow, welcome on in. But yeah, that's usually like the instinctive thought that I think. I'm like, oh, that looks like so-and-so's model. But then I pause. I'm like, that's probably a very rude thing to say. So I would never say that out loud. you know? But then as you take like a closer look at it, you're like, oh, okay, it's unique in this way, it's different in that way. But, just like first glance from a distance, yeah. I think that's why I did watch a video on character design, because that was a bit of a weak point of mine a while back. And they talk about something called the silhouette test, which is it unique if it's from like if you only have the silhouette, can people still identify it as yours? That's how you can tell something is a good design. So yeah, I think what I saw was just the color and the outline, the silhouette, and it was like, oh, okay. That makes me think of so-and-so's thing. Like, for example, one thing I want to start doing is when I'm making the art of a VTuber model, I want to shy away from like forward-facing models, just so that mine can stand out. For example, I made some progress with Owl's model. Let me see if I can find it. Wait, hold on. This is Docs Me. 1 second. Oh no, she's doing it again. Honestly, I kind of like that bit. I think it's funny. You know what we need? We need more emotes that can be combined with other stuff. Hold on, this is a massive file, so it's straight up just loading. Okay, doesn't use me as a reference. Sometimes okay, this, you know how it's hard to get references of things in like a specific pose? Sometimes I just make the pose, I take a picture in my mirror, and then I use it as an art reference. So I always double check that I don't have one of those on an art piece before throwing it on screen. But yeah, this is Al's model. So as you can see, not forward facing, it's standing a bit to the side. Hold on, the references are distracting. This is the model. It's not forward facing, it's to the side. There'll be fireball here. Hi has a model. Wait, sorry. Ordi, I'm ambidextrous at least, so it helps with drawing more. I had to learn how to use either hand. Okay. He has a model? Not yet. but I am working on it. So yeah. Like I said, slightly different design, not forward facing. So when someone sees a model, they'll see like, oh, okay, this one is facing to the side. This one will be floating ominously. And there's supposed to be giant eldritch tentacles out the back. Hold on, I think I have a sketch here. Oh, sorry. I have a sketch here. No, wait, I got rid of it. Oh well. Take my word for it. There were supposed to be tentacles there. So yeah. Tentacles? Yeah, because she's like, I am Eldritch Owl. I want to be Demon Eldritch Bird Monster. So, demon with the eyes. I think I want to change the shape though. Yeah, I'll change the shape. So, demon. She'll have bird feet, feathers for the dress, you know, the bird theme, and eldritch monster, so tentacles at the back. So, yeah. I want to try. This is me pushing my limits, you know. I have improved, and I want to see just how much I have. Like, what is my capabilities? Like, if I pour my heart, soul, and everything that I have into a model, you know. So yeah, that's what that project is for. I was pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how to do the feathers. Right? Hold on. Let me bring it back up. Down, down, bad girls. Oh, that's what she meant by tentacles. Whoops. Eldritch tentacles. I'm getting my saw cleaver. I do like calamari. But yeah, these feathers were a nightmare to do. Like I've never rendered feathers before. And I think the previous one I did, super realistic. Unfortunately, it didn't like fit in well with the rest of the clothes. So I was like, you know what? We make it a bit simpler, and that worked. Anyway, sorry. I'm yapping too much about art. Honestly surprised you're the one saying that. Yeah, to the down bad girl thing. I like how Sable has a spray emote. I feel like that's a much needed one. Or I'm not making key into food. I'm hunting the eldritch bird because a hunter must hunt. But calamari though. You're missing the picture here. Hunting for the sake of hunting, not nice. For food, however, acceptable. Wait, Lamb is here. Wait, I have a question. Hold on. Hold on. Is this an eye? I was supposed to ask, but it slipped my mind. What did I do? Oh no, nothing, nothing. I'm just curious. Is this an eye? Because I saw it, I wasn't sure if it's like a... Everyone is saying yes, that's an eye. Okay, perfect. I wanted to double check. Because I was pretty sure, but I'm like, what if it's not though? Okay, perfect. I was supposed to message and ask, but that completely slipped my mind. Looks to the side so the main eyes can face forward. Probably. Was that actually? Wait, it just occurred to me. 5 eyes total? Yeah. After showing that on screen, I just realized, oh, wait a minute. I didn't ask. Is this like a private secret thing? Because I knew it wasn't a secret from you. And then I remembered that. And I was like, I didn't think about that. Because usually when I take commissions on the request form, there's like a secrecy section where it's like, yes, this is public. I can stream and work on it, or there's a secrecy fee where I don't show anything about it. And lastly, there's NDA. No one will ever know that I made this. So that's usually how I check, like if I'm allowed to publicly show it, like on stream or something. I forgot. So sorry if it was supposed to be private. Whoopsie. I hope it wasn't. Usually I just make my community doesn't know about it at all, but you're more than welcome to work on your on stream stuff. Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, just wipe sweat from forehead. There was actually a time. So much time has passed so that it doesn't matter anymore. No one will know which one I was talking about. I was working on a model on stream. Right? And when I was checking something on VGen and scrolling down, I realized they actually checked the secrecy thing. And I was like, oh, oopsie. And then I just quietly closed the art thing and I'm like, you guys, I think that's enough art for today. Why don't we play a game? So yeah, I have done that oopsie before. The reason is, I would say like 99% of people don't opt for the secrecy thing. So yeah, I think like just I'm used to all of them being public, if that makes sense. But yeah, after that scare, I always double check. Like when I work on the commission, like before I pull it on screen, I always go onto VGen, double check, am I allowed to put this on? Yeah, it's okay. If it had been secret, I would have felt bad. So did Skrill forward all the references? I believe so, because he sent like there are 4 images. Are there more? I was going to screenshot it. That's all? Okay, perfect. They are some of your. Yeah, I think some of your community members are here, so it's okay. We'll keep it a little secret. But yeah, I saw it. I saw the pose. I actually have it like all. It's all just hard to see in case I was supposed to do something else. No, these are more than enough. Usually, I just get sent like all of the stuff. So I'm like, okay, this is what they have in mind, and then like I can work from there. Um, for those who actually don't have references, but like someone is commissioning me, I always say, hey, if you don't have a character sheet or reference sheet, give me a crayon doodle, which is just like this. Like I want slime cat that looks like this and has giant eyes and is like oozing like this. This is what I want. And like this is enough for me to work off of. Like, okay, I now see what they have in mind. Obviously, they put like a bit more detail and color to it, but generic scribble, yeah, this is it. I don't need like full character reference sheets. They do help. They are nice. But yeah, if someone doesn't have them, it's okay. But yeah, I saw this. I was like, okay, this is perfect. This actually gives me a really good idea. Cause oh, we have ads. Whoopsie. Yeah, because I saw the poses, I saw the little extra outfit, and I was like, this is adorable. But if it's a secret from your community, maybe I won't work on it on stream. Yeah, keep the surprise, you know? And for those of you here who saw it and are also part of Lamb's community, mouth shut. I'll go to bed now, getting quite tired. Well, thanks for stopping by, Goldie. Yeah. Hopefully we've made good progress. For a model like this, the head and the face is probably 2/3, 3/4 of the work. So, yeah. Is the face halfway or is it the eyes? The entire head. Everything up here. Sorry, I was burping. So yeah, fingers crossed. After nearly 50 hours, Beans has reached God. You know, Elden Ring actually sounds pretty fun. I have been meaning to play it for like a while. I just never have. Maybe I should. You know what? What games do people recommend? I was really enjoying Haste. But as I get like further along in the game, I have to concentrate more and more on it, and it gets a little bit harder to focus on not dying. Because I like to yap while playing. I think it's the kind of game we'd play like if it's an extra sleepy stream, you know. I'm very tired. And if I play Minecraft, it'll be so cozy that I just doze off on stream. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Can't wait to see the final version of it. Well, art-wise, it'll basically look the same. I head to bed now. Have a great time. Well, thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Okay. We're done with the browse. Done with the browse. I will just clone over. I feel like this one is a bit too bright. I think it's better if it blends. Just a little bit. I think that's good. Ads are done. Welcome back. Ow, what was that for? I didn't even do anything. A funny. So mean. It's a really cute model. I love it. Maybe I should head to bed as well. Yeah, I've been streaming for like 3 hours. And I also do feel the strain in my voice. My humidifier has been helping. Let us see. Do we know anyone? Okay, I see a lost sailor at sea. Their mascot that you see on their stream, one of my children. So yeah, I'm very proud of that one. Do you like how the final bosses of Bloodborne and Elden Ring have special cards for killing them, with the exception of... Ah, okay. I guess it's like a collectible thing. But anyway, thanks everyone for stopping by. Hope you had a great time. I know I did. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.